Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 9, Episode 3.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Blair, you ready to walk us through this?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
The ladies are having their final dinner. Mel has a fire juggler there to entertain them. Mel didn't want Destiny to be uncomfortable, so she actually had Sunni switch with her friend Lauren because Sunni was sitting next to Destiny at first. Mel hopes that the ladies can continue to move forward positively after they had a really great trip together.
You know, it's funny. I forgot Lauren was on the trip.
Yeah. Kimmy has never been on a girls' trip because she doesn't usually do them, but it actually turned out great, and she feels like Mel did a great job.
Nice.
Then Lauren speaks up and talks about how it was nice meeting the ladies, and she did enjoy her time around them. And everyone is just clapping and just saying that Mel did a great job with organizing and carrying out this vacation for them. Destiny's silent. And Mel asks Destiny, do you disagree? And Destiny says, no, I'm just sitting here. I can't be myself. She felt like there was a little too much butt kissing going on.
Stop right there for a second. What are your thoughts on that alone? Just isolate that moment right there.
It looks like jealousy is what it really looks like.
I don't get Destiny.
I'm like, why can't people thank Mel for coordinating this trip?
Come on.
It just looks like jealousy. As we go on in the scene, maybe Destiny was just already annoyed, so she was already kind of on, like, irritated, so maybe that irritated her more. But it just looked like you're being a hater. Look, you know, so I can't fault Mel for calling you out, because why are you being weird?
Mel is going to call you out.
You was just trying to sit next to me the other day.
Mel is going to call you out like a second grade teacher. You get what I'm saying? You were just trying to sit next to her, like Blair just said. You over here saying random I love yous and like I'm sorry. You want that old thing back. Okay. You get what I'm saying? And now listen, if Tisha can clap for Mel, if Kimmy can clap for Mel and things of that nature, you can clap just because everybody clapping, and to use the excuse of, like, you know, it's just a little butt kissing. It's just too much. You know that's gonna be replayed at the reunion. You know Carlos is gonna get in your behind, and you know Mel is gonna get in your behind, and you never go get that old thing back. Right. Because you're weird. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
Destiny says that it was hard hearing her friends ask Sunni about having a kid with her ex. Yeah. And Mel takes it upon herself to apologize on behalf of the group. Okay. Mel does speak up and tells Destiny that it really wasn't a dig, and she apologizes. Destiny tries to tell her, well, you know, we need to think before we speak and all this type of stuff. And Nell's like, not all of us do that. Yeah. She's like, I apologize. Sunni says maybe if people can acknowledge that certain people have been betrayed, we shouldn't be in denial. I don't know what Sunni was trying to say in that moment.
Me neither.
But Destiny says that she doesn't like the energy that Sunni gives off, and that's the reason why she doesn't accept her apology. Mel concurs that Sunni did give off a little stank attitude when Destiny started talking, but Destiny says that she didn't betray Sunni or sleep with her man. And Sunni says, I slept with your ex, not your man. Sunni says that she apologized, and she's been nothing but cordial to Destiny on this trip.
Listen here, that's actually a bar. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, ooh. She slept with your ex, not your man. Keep it going, Blair.
Well, Mel has a picture of the ladies of them all together for them to sign. She's going to make a copy for each of them to give to them. She also reads a poem that essentially says that they're all moving in a positive direction. And she gives everyone a white rose to signify new beginnings.
What are your thoughts?
Overall, I thought it was a good dinner. Destiny was being weird, but I think she was being weird because she was irritated that Nell would ask Sunni about her having a kid. But the thing is, y'all always bring up stuff, you know, around Mel about Martell and his history, and then even the Trish thing got brought up. And I know Destiny didn't do it, but it's a lot of stuff that gets thrown in Mel's face about her past and her ex, who she was actually married to. So I think that Destiny, when it comes to this group and talking about exes and situations, especially if Sunni's sitting right there, you might have to deal with a little bit of that.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
A little bit. If they're on the same show with you, like it doesn't make it right, but at the same time, like, Destiny has to kind of get real about the situation.
It's the right course of action that happens on this show. Yeah. To your point, Blair, now answer me, because maybe I forgot. You get what I'm saying? Like, many times than not, we heard throughout the seasons that Destiny can't share her life or doesn't share her life. That's why she wasn't one of the favorites and things of that nature, and brought back from prior seasons, right? Now that she's back, can she talk about her ex-husband?
No.
Can she talk about her ex-marriage?
No.
Can she talk about any of the cases that like she had against her when it came to potentially writing bad checks? And can she talk about any of that? So what can we talk about with you then, Destiny? What, like to think that like the reason why you're not on this season is not because of the Sunni and Moses drama. That's your story. So whenever your name comes up, we are not going to talk about Mel and Destiny potentially getting back together. We are not going to talk about the friendship of Destiny and Martell. We're not even going to talk about Destiny and Moses, because Moses was a ex-boyfriend. You was never even married to Moses. Get over it, please. I've been hearing it for the last 2 seasons, it feel like. You get what I'm saying? So now your story is Sunni. You are joint to the hip to Sunni because you cannot talk about your life. So when somebody asks Sunni, hey, so y'all gonna have kids? That's her story. You are a part of that. To now actually have a foul mood and to basically not sit there and clap. And nobody's saying you have to sit there and clap, but obviously you sitting right in front of Mel, and then Mel's like, "You good?" And then to go in the confessional on some like, you know, like everybody kissing Mel behind as if we didn't see you. Like we saw you the whole time. So I really don't understand where Destiny's coming from, but don't worry about it. Destiny gonna get read about her down the line in the reunion. So it is what it is.
Trisha and Ken go to a farmer's market. They're back in Huntsville to sit and chat while drinking juices. Yeah. Trish says that the trip was drama, and Sunni kept comparing her situation to the situation with Destiny, Sunni, and Moses. Yeah. Trish says that people were on Sunni's side, and Shanita was Melody's puppet.
Pretty much.
As far as Trish and Ken, they don't feel like they stepped on anybody's toes. When Kim came around, Trish had already been separated from her husband. Sunni is the one who did the ultimate betrayal. Ken says that a lot of people have dated before a divorce finally happened, and Trish slipped in that Melody did it as well. Okay. Trish brought up her going to Martell's house, or Tisha brought that up, and Trisha was saying how Tisha brought it up, and Trisha wanted to just have a one-on-one with Melody about that. Ken is just finding that whole conversation annoying because people are making it seem worse than it actually was.
What do you mean?
Ken says that the guys brought it up too when they got together, and he was just annoyed that Trish didn't communicate with him what happened. He thinks Martell played into it to make it seem like it was more than what it was. He just doesn't like the picture that they're painting of her.
Okay, of her.
Ken also thinks that Trish needs to have a conversation with Martell so that way they can straighten out any issues so this thing doesn't continue to get played up.
Another conversation?
Kim needs to make their relationship known that it's forever, and he thinks it's time that they have a sit down with Marques. If they want to be married, then they need to try to appease his emotions in some type of way.
Listen here, this is what I'm going to say. Ken, I understand, big guy, you there to defend your lady and things of that nature, but do not make Trisha the victim here. As if we did not see Martell, Stormi, and Trisha all in that house act like they did not know each other. Do not try to make it seem like, oh, I just don't like the way how they paint it. They overdoing it. Trisha over here act like she ain't no Martell. If it was really nothing, she would treat it as nothing. But the fact that she keep giving us like basically tidbits of information season at a time, it's just like, what if it's nothing, then say it's nothing. But first you went over there because you train people in houses. Weird. You get what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you training Martell, even weirder. You get what I'm saying? So it's Trisha, you're not innocent in this. Ken, you're not innocent in this. The reason why I'm going to point my finger at Ken, and I'm going to point my finger at Ken again near the end of the episode is, listen, how long have you been with this woman and she haven't moved a bit towards her divorce? You have intertwined your life so much and intertwine yourself in her mess so much that it has never occurred to you like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with someone talking to someone when they are separated. I get that. But she haven't even filed papers to get divorced. So, like, Ken, you put yourself in this situation as well. Trisha is not a victim, and you're not either.
That's true. I also feel like I get what Ken is saying as far as, like, Martell. He likes to allude to things that don't really happen or haven't really happened.
You're right.
But Trish was in those situations, and it looks how it looks because she is married. She's dating you. She did go to Martell's house when he was married. She was still married at the time because she's still not divorced at the time during the show. So I think that they need to learn how to take a little bit of ownership over the fact that it's going to look messy because it is messy.
Yeah, it is messy. It is messy.
Maurice and Kimmy have a chat.
Hello.
Kimmy says that she doesn't usually do girls trip because there's a lot of ups and downs. Everyone already wasn't the best of friends going into the trip.
Yeah.
Kimmy only really had an issue with Nell because Nell tried to butt in and try to regulate when they were trying to discuss or get through a disagreement.
That's true.
And she doesn't like when Nell gets to doing all that hollering.
Mm-hmm.
Since the trip, Kimmy does like Tricia more. She liked that Tricia stood her ground on her opinion about Sunni and Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the conversation turned towards her and Martell, she handled it well in Kimmy's eyes.
Yeah.
Maurice says that the guys talked about that as well. And Martell said that Tricia wasn't bad enough for him.
That's why he didn't try. Okay.
They don't know for sure if nothing happened. They start to get in a conversation about people can do a whole lot of things and still call it nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Kimmy says since they weren't really straightforward, it does make it look worse than what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice says that the timelines really don't add up and all of the relationships overlap with the husband because she's still married.
Yeah. Thank you, Maurice.
And Maurice says if you know what you don't want, like why hold on to that relationship? He thinks that Ken loves Tricia more than she loves him, and Kimmy tells him to probably not speculate on that out loud because they really don't know them people's situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice wants to get to the bottom.
Maurice said.
Yeah. Any thoughts?
Do you think Ken loves Tricia more than Tricia loves him?
No. I don't know.
Or maybe does that even matter in this equation?
For some people it might, but
Okay.
to me, I don't think so. I think that, I don't know, I think people are complicated. I think that there could be a lot of reasons why Trish hasn't divorced the man yet. I think part of the reason was she didn't want to talk to him or have to deal with him at all.
Yeah.
And then another part of it might be like, it is a huge part of her life, and some people have a hard time fully moving on completely and severing the tie. Like it could be a mix of things, so it's complicated.
So maybe
It doesn't make it right. She needs to get the divorce if she wants to deal with Ken, and Ken is thinking they're on the path to marriage. I think that is wrong for
right
Tricia
there. You
to
hit it
string
right
him
there.
along if she's feeling like she's in a complicated position.
You hit it right there. I think the wrong word is love. If I don't know if Tricia have any intention to marry Ken.
Yeah.
That's different. I think she thinks if we just doing what we doing now, you cool with my kids, we live together, we love each other and things like that, we can just do whatever we do. Cause it is weird. We are not gonna play like it's weird, as if she haven't filed for divorce in years with her husband. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know if she intends to marry Ken, right? Ken obviously wants to marry Tricia. So I think that's really what Maurice is coming through when he's basically like, I think like Ken is into it. He's more invested in it than Tricia. Now, I just want to touch on Kimmy just for a second, because I am not a fan of anybody, especially when it comes to, well, it's not even especially. Usually I hear this from women groups that say, you know what, whenever we go out, I don't have a lot of female friends because it's always drama and like girls trip. I don't do girls trip. I'd rather be out with the guys because Kimmy, this is not supporting. This is only supporting what everybody thinks. People think like Kimmy is always going to side with the guys. You get what I'm saying? And I'm just like, hey, honestly, truth be told, outside of the rooms, I think Mel put on a good trip. A good trip to the point where actually it made you go, you know what? I probably had some like ideas of how bad it was going to be, but it turned out good. I think Kimmy should loosen up the reins on like, you know, women are just drama all the time and I don't want to be out with women all the time. Listen here. I think y'all had a good time. Maybe y'all need to work on y'all relationship as a cast. You get what I'm saying? But I do agree with her 100% when it comes to Nell, though. I think Nell has a habit of coming in and thinking she's everybody's mentor. And you heard Kimmy say, I ain't one of your kids. You get what I'm saying? So I do agree with her on that part.
Yeah, just to debate you on the Kimmy thing just a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't travel with everybody. And
your sister-in-law?
You can't travel with everybody.
Stop it, Blair. Stop it, Blair.
So I do think that, yeah, if Kimmy doesn't do girls trips, there's probably a good reason. I've been on some girls trips, and different personalities and different egos can get to being different, is all I'm saying.
Listen,
but I'm saying
like
but at the same time that girls trips can be fun if you have the right girls to go on a trip with. So I hear what Kimmy's saying.
Listen, my only reason why I don't agree with Kim is because Kim said she never been on a girls trip. So everything that she's saying, she never experienced herself. And I'm like, if you've been on numerous girls trips and it been like that and you're not borrowing from other people's experiences, then I'd be like, okay, cool. Don't go on girls trips. But she said she never been on a girls trip.
Yeah.
So how are you going to say I don't do girls trips? That's not fair.
Okay. So Tisha tells Marceau that Shanita called her the ops, and Marceau has seen her around before, but if it's one of Mel's friends, she probably won't be here next year because Mel don't hold on to people for long.
I ain't gonna hold you. That is a bar. That is true.
Yeah, she brings up the church situation. Marceau says Martell said that Trish came over a couple of times and they were watching a movie, but the story really didn't make sense because why would you train somebody at your house when they don't really have a gym at their house?
Facts.
Mel and Destiny are in a better place, but Mel did allude to Destiny might have possibly sleeping with Martell, and Marceau says that Martell does make jokes about how Destiny's son looks like him, and he can see why Mel might think that could be a possibility.
Nice.
Marceau doesn't think that Mel tried to teach the side chick how to cheat respectfully, but Tisha thinks that Martell likes the fact that women fight about him, whether it's true or not.
Here's the thing. One thing Marceau said is they need to teach these people how to lie better. And I agree with that 100%. I do agree, and hopefully Mel proves Marceau wrong. And her name is Shanita. Yeah. I hope she's around. You get what I'm saying? Because Mel do have a track record of having friends, and you know how people say no new friends? Mel be having new friends. You get what I'm saying? But I actually agree with everything that Marceau said in the scene when it came to Martell. Like, Martell, why are you joking around like the baby looking like you? Like, just say that's your nephew. You get what I'm saying? Like, if that's your best friend, like, there's obviously boundaries. Like, don't feed into the rumors. You know what I'm saying? What did you think about this scene overall?
The only thing that really stood out to me was the fact when Marceau was saying that Trisha and Ken's stories and Martell's stories, none of it makes sense. And pretty much there's lies all up and through that conversation.
That is true.
So I think that because there is so much question around things when it comes to them, like Maurice said, like, he wants to get down to the bottom of it, and people kind of want to know, like, what's really going on. So I think that they're going to try to dig deeper when it comes to that, but then people can't be honest.
That's fair.
We get to let's see, Ken and Tricia having their meeting with Marques.
This was a good scene, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Marques says that he would see Ken putting emojis under her pictures while they were still together, saying stuff like "I love chocolate," and she would say that his body was husband body goals. Ken tells him that they were not messing around at that point. All they really talked about was fitness. And Marques says just because y'all weren't together, y'all were still having an emotional connection.
Now stop right there. He said, "I'm gonna check Ken right here." Ken said that we was not messing around. All we talked about was fitness. And then he followed that up by saying, all we talk about now is fitness. But y'all messing around together. Like, stop it. Like, I do think there is something to Ken, you was talking to a married woman.
Yeah.
Even if she was separated or not. But go ahead, continue.
And Tricia told Marques, look, you had multiple emotional connections.
Facts.
Marques says that he didn't really leave his children. And Tricia tells him, the first house where you were in, where you were about 5 minutes away down the road, you weren't even coming around then. Your dad was the one picking up the slack and doing everything that you needed to be doing. Marques says that he hasn't seen her because talking about the daughter and the kids, because there's always excuses as far as why he can't see the kids. Not even that they're coming from Tricia, but the kids saying they got dance practice or this or that. Yeah, the kids have a life, Marques. You got to get in where you fit in.
I'm about to say, come on now. Come on now. Stop it.
He asked Ken if he hugs her daughter at night, and Ken says yes.
That's a weird question.
Tricia says just because he does that doesn't mean that you can't still pull up and see your kids and do the same. Marques moved to Atlanta. He hasn't been there for his kids, but he is here at this dinner trying to fix things. He's going to be there, but he wants to be comfortable when he's there. He doesn't want any animosity. And seeing Ken do a lot of things for his kids is really crazy to him.
Really?
Ken is the man of the house. He is a provider. He's not trying to take Marques's place, but he tells him you shouldn't be absent. Ken says that if they split the parenting 3 ways as far as providing the kids everything they need, that's easy. The kids love Ken because he is who he says he is, and his actions reflect the love that he has for them. Marques keeps just saying that they need to figure things out as soon as possible. The son is about to graduate, and Ken agrees because the son is going to have a graduation, and they should all be there to be able to celebrate and be in good spirits about the good fortunes and the milestones of the children.
Facts.
Marques does admit that it's going to take him a minute to be okay with everything. He doesn't have a woman in his life, but he's here to fix this. He did bring the divorce papers for them to sign, and they also have to get them notarized. We do see Tricia sign the papers.
We do see it.
Marques says that he does not feel good about another man stepping into his role. Even though he made that decision, it's still hard for him to see that. Ken recommends that he get therapy.
Okay.
But he offers, if you need to talk to me, you can reach out to me. You can trust me just like your kids trust me.
Craziness.
Now Marques gets to crying, and Tricia is used to him crying. He cries, and then nothing changes.
Do you want to go first, or
I'll go first because I'm not going to say a whole lot.
Okay.
The only thing I really have to say about this is I think this is a good first step.
Okay.
But I think that Marques has not fully taken accountability for his decisions and the fact that he's sitting in the repercussions of his decisions.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard for him to accept. And I agree with Ken. You need to seek therapy because, yes, we've moved on. We're in a relationship. We're parenting these kids. We're living our life. Life has gone on. And you're still stuck in the fact that you decided to leave, but you don't like the fact that I'm coming in to take care of your kids, but you ain't taking care of your kids. That's a you problem. That's not a us problem.
Yeah.
So Marques, I'm glad that he brought the divorce papers. I don't know why Trish didn't bring the divorce papers, but I'm glad he brought them so that they can move along and get this stuff situated. But do I see Marques improving over time? Not really. He just seems like woe is me and everything is everybody else's fault. And Ken, why are you doing this? How come you hugging my kid and I don't know about it? It's like he's just in the wind somewhere and things are just happening to him, even though he made the decision to move to Atlanta to be away from his family. So it's just like, I get why Trish doesn't respect his tears because you don't make sense.
Look, what did Lauryn Hill say? You just lost one. Oh, how silly, how come, or something like that. Okay. Listen, he lost one. He played the game, he lost, and those tears are tears of a sore loser. It's not tears of being he's hurt because he realized how bad he lost. And not even like he lost of like, oh, I lost a good one. He wanted Tricia to basically be in his predicament where she ain't got no man and he moved on and basically his life is better. Let me throw some blame out there just a little bit before I go into my whole speech. Ken, I'm going to give you just a little blame because I do find it troubling to invest this much into a person's life, into this relationship where there has been no, and when I say no movement towards an official divorce. That's a hard stop right there. Ken, I have to look at you a little side eye to be like, this has been years that you have intertwined yourself into these kids' life and to the point where y'all living together. You're the man of the house, as you said at that table. Yeah. And she have not, outside of being on this show, Love and Marriage Huntsville, made any progression towards a divorce. That's a problem, right? Number two, Marques, it's all your fault. Right. And when I say all your fault, I'm not talking about the divorce or why y'all didn't work as a relationship. I'm talking about being in your kid's life. Right. When it comes to your kids, what do you expect? I think he just expected like once I leave, everybody should be like begging me to come back. But then he's talking about like, yo, like you being there for my kid and taking my kid out the country and you actually loving and stepping up and being a man for my children. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy is the father not being there. Also, they was high school sweethearts, Tricia and Marques. You can kind of see how they kind of talk alike. How they kind of talk in circles, don't talk about nothing. Right. You know what I'm saying? If y'all watched that interview, this was this year or last year. It was sometime where it was Carlos and Dr. Wendy, and they interviewed Marques, one of the worst interviews.
Dr. Heavenly.
Dr. Heavenly, and it was one of the worst interviews I ever heard. You get what I'm saying? At one point, he wanted Dr. Heavenly to meet his grandmama or something like that. It was just weird. You get what I'm saying? And he had excuses then. This is not with the cameras. This is real time. So when it comes to him stepping up and actually taking accountability, he never was going to do that because he don't see it as like something that he did to the family. He sees it as Ken did this to the family. He was the one doing emojis and things like that. They had an emotional connection and things of that nature. So like he's not going to take accountability for that. When it comes to Tricia, right? Tricia, I understand you're getting a divorce now, but my eyes is on you 100% now. because I really don't understand how, if he was so bad, if you were so done with the tears, if you were so done with the whole situation, why didn't you get it officially finished? Like, that will always be weird to me. The whole Martell and Tricia part is not the interesting part to me, to be honest. The whole part of them being this close and the kids being this close with Ken, and she's not officially divorced, that's the more interesting story. Because I don't know if I'm like Maurice, to where he loves her more, but I don't know if she wants to be officially married to Ken. I don't know.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
There could be a lot of reasons why she hasn't moved forward on that divorce. A lot.
Like that's what I want to find out. I don't care who Martell slept with. You get what I'm saying? We know who he's mainly with right now. So I don't really care about that whole situation. But the whole point, even with Tricia getting upset and things like that, because you know how she said she got a temper. You know what I mean? Ken was trying to calm people down, because Ken do seem like the one that's like, I don't want to get mad, because when I get mad, I get mad. But I ain't going to hold you. Telling that grown man that he can talk to me like how your kids talk to me, I would have flew over that table. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like this, but this is the predicament you put yourself in, to where you're not even the mature adult. Now, when I get done hugging your daughter, when I get done taking your son out the country, you could call me on my line and like express to me how much it hurts you that I'm with your lady. Like, man, grow up. That's basically what it come down to.
Yeah.
Anything else you have to share on this episode?
That's all I got.
Listen, make sure y'all give Blair some respect. She powered through, sick and all. There's no PTO on this job. And she came, showed up, coughing and all, and we appreciate you. Y'all be good.
Bye.